where the problem really is that this level of college readiness was applied to all students, and what the math standards didn't do is provide a pathway to STEM. No pathway to STEM. In other words, the courses that you would take in your upper years of high school, trigonometry, pre-calculus, aren't there. Why they're not there, we don't know. And Jim and I have talked about this because nobody gives us an answer. Zimba didn't tell us why they're not there. CCSSO doesn't tell the country why they're not there. No state board ever asked, because apparently they can't read the math standards, so they couldn't notice that they were missing standards. And I'm not saying it that facetiously, because most of them are college educated, intelligent people, but unless you're in math, you're not going to be able to tell that those pre-calculus standards aren't there. I can't tell, because I don't know the subject. But somebody should have been warning somebody. That's what my legal issue is, because I think we should have known, parents should have been told, boards of ed should have been told, legislatures should have been told, governors should have been told. These standards only go up to Algebra 2 and will not prepare anyone for these other careers that we want. Now, it doesn't prevent high schools, I've had this argument tossed back, it doesn't prevent a high school from offering a trig course or a pre-calc course, but what's the incentive? They're not going to be tested to begin with, but worse than that, if students are told by the end of Algebra 2, and they take a test that says they're college ready, why would they then go on and take trig and pre-calc if they're already college ready? Anyway, what Jim said as he looked at, I'll run through these very quickly. Number one, in the math in the elementary grades, the standard algorithms are taught too late compared to our competitors in other countries. That's one issue. The standards are very weak in the middle grades, meaning that by grade 8, you cannot have a full Algebra 1 course. It's completed in grade 9 and 10. What he then concludes, as a mathematician who also knows what's going on in other countries, is that American students will be about 2 years behind their peers by grade 8. This does not make us competitive. So when they say we're competitive, or that these are competitive standards, they're lying. Because no reputable mathematician is saying the opposite. They all know standards, and they don't disagree with each other. I mean, if a mathematician disagreed with Milgram, that person would say so. So you've got a lowering of the standards. And by the way, there's no acceleration possible, because some school systems say, oh, but we'll accelerate from grades 5 through 7 so that more of our students can take Algebra 1 in grade 8. They're ready. Well, there's no incentive to do that because Common Core's tests are going to be based on each grade level of the standards. So when they get to grade 8, if kids are in Algebra 1, the test is going to be the grade 8 standards in Common Core, which are basically arithmetic. So those Algebra 1 kids are not going to be tested on the material that other kids would have been studying for that grade because they would have been in algebra material. This is a problem all the way through. No acceleration is possible for the more able students at any grade level in either reading or math, because Common Core's tests are age cohort based, which means the test is just for the standards they put at each grade level. Because if we have weak Algebra 2 standards in high school for math, a teacher prep program in math will only go as high as Algebra 2 for the future teacher of math. So at some point, once your current teachers retire or die off, the replacements will not be as competent as the older teachers who could teach trig and so forth. So there are long-term consequences to Common Core the longer it stays in place.
Yeah.